Alrighty. Let me just pour this up. Oh no, chaos. There's so much things happening. Jesus Christ. Why? Oh man. I made myself ink. Pause. Damn it, man. I'm such an idiot. Like, it's here. Let me tell you something. So, if you guys don't know me by now, I'm a little bit of a spaz. And I do things really fast, and sometimes my brain and my body just aren't on the same level. They're just not on the same page. So, some that results in many things: dropping things, saying things I don't mean, saying things that don't make sense, and dropping things. So, that's how this morning's going, and that's how honestly the last 3 weeks have felt. I'm just kidding. Life is good. Life has to be good, or else you're just gonna live in a world of hell. But I say that because let's just jump right into it. Your boy got the Rona, dude. And it sucked. We're gonna get right into this thing. The title of this episode is called Health is Wealth. And the reason why I wanted to name it Health is Wealth is because I woke up this morning and I actually thought, you know what, today's the day where I'm going to talk about this thing because for a while I didn't want to talk about it. I was embarrassed about it. I didn't want to tell nobody, and I'm going to get into all these reasons right now, but I'll get into all that. But today I woke up and I was like, you know what, today's the day where I'm going to talk about it. I know I have 1,000 things to do. I need to catch up on all my shit, but I think it's going to be, for my own health and maybe for somebody else's benefit, I'm just going to talk about this today. So, I decided, I woke up and I thought health is wealth. It just kind of clicked. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to title this Health is Wealth. Salud, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So about, I don't even know how long it's been now. I think it was like, when was it? So October 4th was the day I started feeling symptoms. And so that was about roughly about 4 weeks ago. October 4th, I felt some symptoms. I started getting like a little headache, felt a little weird and, just really drug out, and I felt exhausted. I didn't have anything else. And, it wasn't until about, about 3 days later, it was that Wednesday, October 7th, where I started feeling really weird. Like I started to get a little bit body aches. I started getting the little chilly wills, and I started to get a little bit of a concern because that Saturday, the 10th, October 10th, was a day where I had to shoot a wedding. And there was no way in hell I was going to go to this wedding feeling half-assed, and the possible threat of having I'm so dramatic. The possibility of me having coronavirus and giving it to other people. So it was that Thursday where I went and got myself tested and ended up testing positive. And at this point, I was having really bad chills. I was getting the hot and cold thing, and I got tested and I was positive, and it sucked because for me as like an entrepreneur, having a small business, and my life depends on this thing. I don't have insurance, I don't have sick time, I don't have any of that shit. So for me, everything got pushed back, and it just threw a big wrench into everything. And for me, that caused me a lot of stress and anxiety, because essentially, I'm a one-man band. The work comes from me. I take the pictures. I design the designs. I schedule things. I do everything. But fortunately, I have very good friends, and I have an awesome community of photographers that on that wedding, unfortunately, I was not able to attend, and I was not able to work or shoot that wedding, which I deeply apologize to you know who you are. And I had a very good friend of mine, and a huge giant shout out to Jeff Montgomery for filling in for me and shooting that wedding, and covering for me because I couldn't make it and there's no way I was gonna get anybody sick. So as soon as I found out I was positive, I and shoved myself in a room and quarantined and did that. And it sucked. And that's, and the symptoms really started to set in. I started getting mud butt. I got diarrhea. The headaches were they were really shitty. I felt super fuzzy, very dried out and exhausted, and the chills were the worst of it. And, I woke up in the middle of the night, just a puddle of sweat. And that lasted for maybe till about that Sunday. So it was about a week from the first day I got symptoms where I started to feel, the worst of it has passed. So about a week where I felt the worst, and about the second week, every day I slowly started to feel a little bit better and better. And the week after that, I was able to heal up, and it was about right now with the current state of this virus on the CDC. When you go get tested, for people that are listening to this that have gotten, you may know, have gotten the virus, but if you don't, you may know that when you get tested and if you test positive, actually, I don't even know if you test negative, they do this, but the Arizona Health Department calls you and they ask you questions. And they were actually the first people that called and helped me out. Because when I got tested at NextCare, I got tested over here, and I'm not throwing shade, but this is my experience. I got tested at NextCare over here by the bowling alley, and I got tested, and everybody there was cool. They were mellow, except for the guy that fucking tested me. I'm not going to throw shade. It sounds like I'm throwing shade, so I'm whatever. And I get it. Like, people in there, they're dealing with extremely sick people. There's a pandemic going on. They don't want to get sick. I'm sure people are anxious. Like, I get it. But, I got tested positive, and they just came in, popped their head in, told me I was positive, and never told me how to take care of myself. So that made me very anxious. And of course, there's a level of responsibility to myself where I should have asked, what do I do? But, didn't say anything on the paper or nothing, just said, you're positive. Figure it out. It's not what it said, but I didn't know what to do. So I just went home and I quarantined until I felt better. But luckily, that the health department had called about maybe a week later, and they were guiding me and telling me all the things that are pretty much on the CDC, which is nice. That's where I'm saying there's a sense of responsibility there, because my lazy ass or on spazzy ass could have went on the CDC and looked myself. And I ended up doing that after this phone call and educated myself. But luckily, the Arizona Health Department called me and told me, right now with the current state of things, after 10 days of your first symptoms, if you feel your symptom, there's like 3 levels of it. If your symptoms are getting better, if you haven't taken Tylenol or any fever reducing medication in 48 hours, and I forgot the last one, but it's off the top of my head. And then there's one more. Those 3 things, if those 3 things check off at your 10 days, then you're essentially free to be around people again, still taking precautions and wearing masks and stuff, because we don't know if people can recatch this thing. So at my 10 days, I didn't feel 100%. I didn't feel like, I definitely was feeling better from the worst of it, but I didn't feel, ready to go again. It actually kind of lingered for a little bit, and it lingered for what's now. So my 10th day was October the 14th, and that was a Wednesday. And I actually waited a couple more days. I waited till that Friday to actually to go out and to see anybody. Sorry, one more level to that thing. So they actually say you wait your 10 days and you don't need to get tested again. This is actually really important. So they told me, the health department told me, and it says on the actually it doesn't say on the CDC website, but it said, they told me, and they're advising that after your 10th day, you're free to be in the world again and you're okay. And you can get retested, but if you get retested, there's a high, I don't even know high, there's a probability that you can test positive again, and for about 30 days. So for me, I'm my own boss. You know, I don't have to go get retested for anybody. So I didn't go get retested. You know, having to go back and go through that again, you know, and maybe arguably it would have been better for my mental health to go do that and to be sure, but I just didn't want to have to deal with that shit again. And especially, you know, if that's the case, you know, if they're recommending I didn't need to, then that's fine. But, you know, that decision making is definitely case by case. And, you know, for people that need to go back to work and need to test positive, like, you know, with that caveat of, you know, people can still test positive 30 days out, it's kind of sucky. So it leaves a lot of uncertainties in the air. And for a person like me, that can cause anxiety, which is like, I don't like to admit that stuff, but it does happen to me. Like stuff like that, like the uncertainties, especially like of this stuff. You know, you see it online and you see it on TV, you know, how this virus can be like mentally exhausting as well. And that's exactly why. Reasons like that, where, you know, the uncertainties and not sure of what to do and what's the right move, you know? So for me, I had to shoot a wedding that next weekend, and that was my 10 days. And so I just made sure I was good. And, you know, some of my symptoms, you know, they lingered a little bit. I still had a headache, not a headache, but I just felt foggy. You know, I never had a fever. But I did take Tylenol for the headaches. But by the time that Wednesday hit, I hadn't taken anything since that Sunday. So it had been 1, 2, 3, 4 days where I hadn't taken anything, and I felt fine. Well, I felt like I was getting better, and I wanted to get better without any of the meds. So I was good to go, and I messaged my bride and told her what was up, and I had a game plan, a plan B, just in case I couldn't make it again. And shout out to Alex for putting in the effort to try to back me up if I needed her. But thankfully I was able to make it. And thankfully I was able to make it, and I was able to make that wedding and, you know, and shoot it and get the people what they paid for. So I'm very excited about that. It was hard, you know, because, you know, with this whole, there's this thing, there's people are talking about how it lingers and the symptoms can linger. And for me, it very much did, you know, and I don't know if they're fully gone yet. I'm still taking everything day by day. But after the 10 days, you know, they say that you're not, and after the 10 days and your symptoms improve, they say that you're not contagious anymore. With precaution, obviously, you know, I don't want to go out there and act like I'm immune. I'm still taking the precautions, and because we don't know if you can get this thing again. But I was able to safely go and shoot my wedding, wearing a mask and being safe, and you know, and decreasing the chance of me spreading it to somebody else. God forbid if, you know, I was still contagious. But even thinking that way, you know, that's the uncertainties that I'm talking about that can make you anxious. Is like, okay, well, we are so unsure about this virus, you know, with if you're still contagious after the 10 days or what have you. But it was my dad that really put in perspective for me, that was pretty much saying that, you know, you can only focus on things that you can control and take precautions as much as you can. And as long as you know you did the things that you needed to, then you should be okay. So, you know, I made sure I wore the mask, stayed as clear from people as I can, and, you know, just try to stay safe. And that week after, I tried to get my lung after that wedding. That was like the most exercise I'd ever done since I gotten sick. And it was a long day. I was tired after for sure. But I wasn't like, didn't feel sick or anything after. I just felt fuzzy a lot of the day. And, but I tried my best. And I'm very satisfied with the pictures. And so it was a good day. And I'm very thankful that I was able to get out of that. So, and so the week after, I had been trying to walk and trying to get my lungs back because one of the other things that lingered was, just trying to get a full breath in and trying to control my breathing because along with the anxiety and just the virus itself, it was hard for me to tell like what was short of breathness and what was just the anxiety because I deal with pretty bad anxiety and it was just hard to differentiate. But riding the bike, I was riding a bike around town and taking walks, and that helped a lot for me to slowly get back. And it actually wasn't until yesterday, October 26th, about, let me see, about 4 weeks after getting symptoms that I felt I was okay enough to go and work out. So I had actually played softball this last Saturday, October 24th, and I felt good to run again. I don't know if it was I had a little bit of a headache, but it was nothing. I hit it inside the park home run. I also struck out, but I was able to play, and I was very thankful for that. And it was all positive signs. And with a lot of rest, sleep is huge right now for me. Sleep and rest and monitoring my heart rates and my respiratory rates and all that stuff is super important. So I played softball, felt okay, rested, and it wasn't until yesterday, October 26th, where I actually went back to a Trident CrossFit class. And I'm not back to the level that I was, and that was actually a frustrating thing for me when I first got sick because I thought I was just going to be able to kick it and move on and continue back with my life at a physical and like a mental level, but that just wasn't the case. Admittingly, if that's a word, it was hard for me to deal with that fact, because like I said earlier in the beginning of the show, this is my life, this is my business, this is what I do. And so when anything gets in the way of that, it's very frustrating, or even doing the things that I need to do. So, getting sick and not being able to focus because of the fuzziness, like the headaches, and not being able to, work to the best I can was very frustrating for me. And it caused me a lot of anxiety but it was important and it was good in a sense where, it taught me some lessons to really only focus. And it gave me a real life example of only focusing on the things that I can and taking precautions. And that helped me a lot. And it's helped me focus these last couple of weeks on what's important and patience and being patient and knowing that, this recovery is going to take time and maybe it's not going to be as fast as I would like it to be, but slowly but surely. And I still have to take precautions. I still have to be safe, and because we just don't know the extent to this madness. But let me see, how we doing? 20 minutes. I'll try to make this 30. But it's that was kind of like a brief thing. So now couple of days after in Yuma yesterday was like the wind just blew in, the new season just blowing in. So outside right now everybody's wearing sweaters like I am now, and the wind and the dust is everywhere, so everybody's coughing and sneezing and all that shit. Even me, my throat feels a little dry, but even to this day, I feel the symptoms are at like maybe a 10 or a 15%, like they're very low. There's I can still the headache is kind of gone. in a way, and maybe it is gone. Maybe it's lower. Maybe it's about 5%. And I'm not just saying that to make people feel better, but as I sit in here evaluating myself, I write every morning, and I've been checking in with myself. And a positive thing is I'm slowly starting to, get better and better every day, and a little bit more. And it's not a lot. It's like 5%, 10% every day, a little bit more, and I'm thankful for that. So, and I'm thankful that I'm just able to concentrate and do the work and you know, apply my service. That sounded so whack, but just do what I love: take pictures and design, and and be at the studio and walk around and just be able to be me. So it's nice and it's very helpful. But some tools that really help me, and some resources that really help me. Believe it or not, the CDC website, you just go there and just flood yourself with info in a positive way. The CDC website helped me a lot. That was huge, just to get the information and just work off of that, and not let you put you in fear, but just following the rules and the recommendations, and just going off of that. That helped a lot. Education is huge during this. So the more information you can get, the less anxiety and the more clarity, and and that can help, because the stress, I feel like the stress that I caused myself only prolonged my stuff and prolonged how long I was sick for. So making sure your mental health is in order during all this is huge. So making sure you got somebody to talk to, and I know for me that was huge. I had a couple really bad panic attacks just because I let all this get the best of me, and I don't like admitting that shit, but it happens. But I talked to my dad. He was huge for me, and my cousin Roxy, my cousin Roxy called me. My family called me, and and just talked to me, and that was huge for me. That's all I needed. And for me, for people that know me, obviously I have a podcast. I just like to talk, and even this podcast, this right now, it helps a lot. Just to talk about stuff and just to get stuff out in the air. So, and if it helps somebody, that's awesome. So that resource is huge. The CDC website, friends, family, talking to people, if you have the anxiety and stuff, find somebody to talk to. And if you got out of this thing, couple like Jaron Keeks, where thank God they didn't get sick, and Cara, everybody that I know that had it, that got out of it pretty good. Thank God. I don't wish that shit on anybody. But for me, a huge tool that I'm thankful that I had was actually my Whoop strap. And no, I don't have sponsors on this show, and no, I don't get paid for any of this shit. But the Whoop strap was huge for me. So if people don't know what the Whoop strap is, it's a heart rate monitor, and it comes with an application, and it's a very, very beneficial tool, because the data comes through heart rate, and it reads your heart rate, and it monitors your sleep, and it analyzes your output, your daily output by strain, and it gives you a recommended time to sleep, recover, how well you recovered, and it also, which is a huge plus, it monitors your respiratory rate, and that right there is huge. So for me, my respiratory rate sits pretty low, so about like 14 to 15. And when I got sick, one thing that they were talking about on Whoop has a podcast, and they have a website with a bunch of articles, and they have articles about respiratory rates and COVID. And one thing that they found is this huge spike in your respiratory rate. And I absolutely saw that with my Whoop. From a 14, 15, I shot all the way up to about a 18, 19. And it was crazy. And actually, if I can, I might just post it to show people what it looks like. Yeah, I will. So the numbers you'll see right here as I post the graphic, my respiratory rates sit pretty low, and they just shot up. And then my recovery was ass. It was in the reds, and I just couldn't recover. And and the only thing that was happening consistently was I was getting okay sleep. So I think that was what was benefiting me a lot, was getting the sleep. And for me, I'm pretty proactive. I eat very healthy. I eat healthy. I have my fuck off days. But for me, I think a huge thing that saved me and was taking, a huge thing right now is like people will recommend to you, like take zinc, take vitamins, take this, take that, blah, blah, blah. And it's all like vitamin stuff. And for me, I'm lucky enough so for about like 3 years, I've worked for this company called Xendruance. It's actually a supplement company. And, sorry, excuse me. And not because I work for them, but Xendruance Xendruance products, I think, were a huge factor in this because, and I think it helped the extent of, and I'm not a fucking doctor, dude. This is what I think. Because I know the difference on a daily day when I don't take these products and I don't take this stuff, how I feel. And I think it had a huge impact on how I was able to recover. And I brought those products today to show you guys, but even before COVID and during, I think it just helped me heal a little bit faster, making sure I was covered and making sure I had all these vitamins that are crucial. So for me, these are actually, one second. Okay, sweet, I'm back. I had to pee. Shit don't change. Okay. All right, I gotta wrap this up soon because I got 1 bar battery there and 1 bar battery here. So, yeah, like I was saying, just to reiterate, so these Xendruance products that I'm about to show you guys, they help me tremendously. So what it is, it's a multivitamin, and this is called Immune Boost. And I'm just gonna read you off the back because I'm not good at this stuff. It has vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients, powerful carotenoids, lutein, and it's just a really good multivitamin, and it has tons of shit in it. In the back, if you want to go to xendruance.com and look at, they have all the information and all the stuff that's in it, and it's just loaded with multivitamins. So this is what I use for my immune system, and this is my daily multivitamin, and I feel good and I feel covered when I have all this stuff in. And it's helped me tremendously. And whatever multivitamin you guys take, just make sure it has all the stuff that you need in it. Especially, I'm not even gonna recommend it, but just make sure you have all the things that you need because everybody's different. But for me, this Xendruance Immune Boost was huge. Another one that was huge, and I usually take this just for my everyday performance for CrossFit and just all my fitness. It's called Extreme Endurance. It's actually Xendruance's flagship product. And what it does is it helps your performance, endurance, and recovery, and it really helps reduce lactic acid for less muscle soreness and improved performance. I'm just reading it off the back. Reduction of oxidative stress, reduction of creatine. Can I say, I don't know these words, an increase in aerobic threshold. Last longer, go harder. Damn. This is a good product. I like this a lot. This one I've found from a lot of people and my friends that it helps them tremendously, especially in their performance. So if you guys are interested, this is on the website as well, and you can learn more about it. And we actually did a video about this one with the owner and a friend of mine, Jason St. Clair. We did a video on this guy, and Jason had been taking the product for about, he's never, ever since he got on with Xendruance, and he's been with Xendruance, he's actually the CEO. He has never not taken the products, and he had to get some minor surgery, and he thought it'd be a cool idea to do like an anabolic test. So he did the bike, and he had to wear one of those VO2 masks, and he saw tremendous benefits from doing the test off the products and then being back on the products. And he saw this giant spike in his performance. And that video is actually, I'll link it. It's a cool video if you want to get all that information on that product. But it was a really cool video, and it was a fun experiment to see just the benefit that supplements can have, and especially really good ones like Extreme Endurance. But and lastly, one that I love is this Omega and D3. So the Omega and D3 is a 2-in-1 product. I'm reading the back, and it has 1,000 mgs of omega fatty acids. It promotes healthy heart, brain, and joint mobility. It's got 4,000 IUs of vitamin D, and it's good for bone health and maintenance. So this is a good one. This is a really good one. Take your fish oil, kids. that I like and I enjoy. And for me, this one's huge. And with these three, so this is like their the essential three. There it is. This is their essential three right here. And I found tremendous benefit of taking these on the daily. And when I don't, I definitely can feel it. So for me, it helps a lot. And there's one more. Hold on. And I'm clearing my throat a lot because I put butter in my coffee, and it's getting all lodged up in there. Hold on, gotta ignore that. Okay, the last one is this CBD Deep. It's a full spectrum CBD drops. This one for me is ginormo. Like I said earlier, I'm like a giant spaz, and I'm a giant spaz, and sometimes I need help relaxing and taking it easy. And also, for me, the inflammation after I eat, terribly or had a night out of if I was on a good little bender. For this one, this CBD drops, this helps me a lot with stress, and it helps me a lot with inflammation in my body. And I don't know, I am just a giant fan of CBD, and I take this one every single day as well. I take one in the morning, one drop in the morning, and I also take two at night, and it helps. It's helped with my sleep tremendously. Use that word too much. But even on my Whoop, it tells me the days I take CBD, my sleep increases a ton. So it's been awesome. But these are some things that help me a lot. Lastly, liquid IV. Those liquid IVs help me a ton. Those little packets. I think I have one in my bag, but the liquid IV packs are huge. Or even I don't have any with me right now, but God, everybody's calling me right now. But Xendruance sells hydro sticks, which are great as well. I didn't have them at the time, so I would just go to Sprouts and get the liquid IVs, and liquid IVs are great as well. But just making sure you're hydrated, dude. At the time, I was drinking two of those gallon jugs. While I was sick, I was drinking like 2 of those a day and just pounding them and pissing like every 2 seconds. And I think that helped me a lot. And the walks and short exercises. You can't be cooped up in the house all day, or else you'll go nuts. I did go nuts, and I did get crazy anxious, and I did go on the walks, and that's what helped me. So, and small bike rides. So yeah, that was just a little rundown on my experience with La Rona, and it wasn't fun. It kind of sucked, and it's crazy. So this is just my 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 contribution of my contribution, and putting in my experience with it, and hoping that anything that I said can help anybody in a tiny way, whether if it's the supplements, whether if it's anything that I said, if it can benefit anybody at all, that's huge. So and so this is just the way I know how to. This is what I know to do. So hopefully this helped you guys a little bit with the Xendruance products. If you can just go to xendruance.com, you can order the supplements there. I'm pretty sure I have a promo code. Let me after this I'll look it up, and I'll probably post it at the end. But these products are great. They have tons of other stuff from protein and tons of shit. So go ahead and check out xendruance.com. They're huge, and yeah. Hey, that's pretty much it. Even now, post COVID, I'm thankful. Thank you to all my clients. Actually, let me just do this real quick. Thank you to all my clients for being patient with me and trusting me, and just being patient more than anything with me, because I was sick and I was out for longer than I thought. And I'm just, at this point, I'm still trying to catch up with everything, and just trying to get back to the pace that I was at, and slowly getting there. And, even for this podcast, I'm trying to figure out ways to do it safely. I was actually thinking about putting a giant plexiglass thing right here, and I was talking to Jordan about it, and he laughed at me. But, I love the podcast. I want to keep doing it. So if that's what I have to do, I'll do that just to feel a little bit safer. Still wearing the mask, still trying to be precautionary, and trying to stay safe, because we just don't know what's up with this thing. So appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And hopefully this helps any of you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment. Send me a DM. If you need somebody to talk to, I'm more than welcome to talk to you because I know this thing kind of sucks. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of YumaSeen. I'll see you until next time, actually. Later. Bye.